here today because my beloved reading chair was broken by my dad while we were watching a movie. So I'm currently on my desk chair and it's really awkward. Hello everybody, welcome back to another one of my videos. If you're new here, I'm Freyleyce, and today I'm going to be doing my monthly reading wrap up. I love making these. You guys seem to really love watching them as well. It's just such a great way to talk about the books that I've read this month. I'm not used to this yet. Y'all can see the empty part of my bookshelf, which is honestly kind of embarrassing. I'm really building this library still, but I'm also like fully in the frame. I don't know if I like this, but at the same time, I kind of do. Either way, let's get straight into this video. I think I have about 22 books that I read this month. One actually was included in my last wrap up, but I didn't really give y'all my full thoughts because I hadn't finished reading it yet. So let's start with that one. That one was Diabolic by Penn Cassidy. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I think I was about 50% through when I talked about it in that wrap up. I've included it in 2 videos since I read it, so obviously I loved it. It's a reverse harem, which I normally am not fully in the mood for, but this one was done super well. It's got some mafia vibes and it was really great. It's the start of a series, and the others aren't out yet, and I don't believe there's a release date either, so I'm on the edge of my seat for the second one, because it did leave off on a bit of a cliffy. I love the female main character. She is a little, you know, and I mean, I love that. I rated this one like 4.75 stars, just because the beginning was a little confusing, but I'm so excited to see where these characters go, and I literally cannot wait for the second one. And then I was kind of like, I didn't really stick to a book. I didn't really know what I wanted to read, but I started Into the Dark by Dana Logan, I believe, and I knew going into this that the beginning was really plot focused, super slow burn, and I was okay with that at the beginning, but then I really did not enjoy this because the plot was just so weird. I didn't know where it was going. We were uncovering a bunch of secrets, and what I was assuming was the other love interest was just really wishy-washy, and it was quite insta-lovey, but at the same time, I don't think they got together until like the second book or something. So there's a lot of mystery and suspense, but I wasn't really into it. I mean, I did know the warnings that like everything is not as it seems, but it was just a little boring, and I didn't really feel like continuing on because I really did not care about the characters at all. So I probably should have DNF'd it a lot sooner, but I did really want to see the end and what the characters went through. But in the end, I DNF'd it at 30%. And then I read The Protege by Brianna Hale. This one was super taboo. It was kind of short, but it wasn't like too much plot and there wasn't really much to it. I was just so bored. I really despised both of the characters. They didn't have any lovable things for me. I didn't like the aspect of the book. It was a little creepy because it is really taboo, but I just saw it as creepy. I also did DNF this one. I really disliked the hero. He was not anything, really. And then I read an absolute banger, which was Escape the Light by A.R. Thomas. I've talked about this a lot since I read it. I'm absolutely in love. This is a relationship between a world-famous model, Zara, and a UK mobster. It is so amazing. It is pretty steamy. I love that aspect. They also travel a lot, so it's really aesthetically pleasing, and just their relationship and their dynamic was so good. Once again, I've also recommended this one in 2 videos since I read it, and I probably will not stop recommending it. This might be a top favorite standalone of 2022. And then I read Folie à Deux, I don't know, it's French, by Ruby Medjo. I probably butchered that really badly, so I'm sorry. French is not my thing. English is my only language, and sometimes it don't even work for me. This one is a really spicy, sort of taboo novella, but it's kind of not a novella. It just read and felt like a novella, but it was actually like 240 pages. So it feels like a novella, but it isn't quite one. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a fun ride. It was steamy, it was kinky, it was what it was. There's not a ton of plot in here. It was kind of just like ABC. You know, like it was boom, boom, boom. But I really enjoyed it. Since I thought it was a novella, it did feel a little long, but at the same time, I wasn't feeling like it was dragging on. So like, yeah, I don't know what more to say. It was fun. And then, once again, in my quest to find the perfect Rockstar romance book, I read The Sound of Us, which is a reverse harem series or trilogy or something. I absolutely hated that. I absolutely hated this book. It was so cringy and cliche, like, literally they all fall in love, then something happens, then the guys go and get famous, and she gets left behind with an abusive husband. And that was also another thing I didn't really like the characters felt like they were 40, and I don't really love that. I mean, I'm not really a young adult reader, a little bit of new adult. I just prefer my characters not to be 40 because I'm not 40. And so yeah, it was just, it wasn't it. It was not it. I've DNF'd it at 15%, but that was 15% through the collective trilogy like bind up, so I'm not actually sure how far I got into the first one. Yeah, no, this was a miss for the Rockstar romance. Then I read Falcon's Prey by C. Lamari. This made up for that miss because this was so good. It's enemies to lovers, bodyguard romance, super like tension spicy, you know? And I was absolutely living for this. I also love the name Falcon's Prey because the male main character, his name is Ren Falcon, Falcon's Prey. I loved their dynamic. I loved Ember, our heroine, because she's rich and she's a complete bitch. And I live for that dynamic, honestly. It was literally so good. Also recommended this one multiple times. Will not stop recommending it. And then I discovered one of my new favorite series, which is the Obsidian Brotherhood series by Delaney Foster. Book 1, Mischief Night. So good. So good. It's a like childhood friends kind of to enemies to lovers because their families are beefing. They're really like important high class families and they don't really like each other. So obviously their kids are trained not to like each other either, but two of them end up falling in love and it is so sweet. There's also a time gap so they like start to fall in love and then he has to go away and then he comes back. It is so good. I know this series will be one of my favorites of 2022. The second one, Hallowed Eve. I don't know if you can sense a theme here, but they're kind of like spooky season with gothic vibes, you know, all based around Halloween night. Love it. The second one is a best friend's brother, which this is my second best friend's brother's book. I actually don't hate it. I totally thought I'd hate it. It's just a thing of loyalty in my mind, but this one was so good. I mean, I didn't love the trope in it, but I thought that it was written really well in the book. And of course I love this book. So yeah, this one, so good. It's second chance as well. And it's definitely setting up to be more books in the series. I'm so excited for Chandler and Grayson's book. Like I'm dying. I love this so much. And the next like 5 are honestly 3-star reads, like all around. I don't know why I really read them. The first one would be Ruthless Creatures by J.T. Geisinger. And actually I read some J.T. Geisinger like last summer before her Mafia books really took off. And I thoroughly enjoyed them. I didn't think they were like the best ever. I did think that they were written really well. The plot was great, but Ruthless Creatures is book 1 in her Mafia series. Like, I don't know the name. But yeah, this is the first book. It's a like friends to lovers, next door neighbor kind of thing, but he's in the mafia and she gets kidnapped because of him. And I mean, it was good. I did feel like it was a little insta-lovey, but they have trials and tribulations in their relationship because she's kind of still in love with her fiance who disappeared. Her fiance is not as it seems though, obviously. And so yeah, I mean, I did enjoy it. It wasn't phenomenal and I don't really see myself carrying on in the series, but it was kind of good. I did like the sex scenes. There was that. It was just a little boring to me. And I actually really did not like the heroine. That was another thing. She calls him honey. That's a red flag for me. And the second book is about her best friend. A lot of people are like, oh my God, Sloane is the MVP in this book. I did not like her. I found her so annoying. So yeah, don't think I'll be continuing on in the series. Much to y'all's disappointment, I'm sorry. And then I read Forever After All by Katharina Mora. I think I said that right. This is a slight childhood friends to lovers, best friend's brother, billionaire, marriage of convenience one. I just listed like all the tropes in this. I don't know why. But no, actually because that is all the plot. Those tropes are the plot and there's not much else. There's slight steam, not up to my standards of it though. And I mean, it was enjoyable, but it was just 3 stars. Like it was such a 3-star book. That's just how I would sum that one up. I didn't find it as interesting as I thought I would, unfortunately. And then I read the paperback version of Archer's Voice. It's on my shelf, but once again, I am lazy and I don't really want to go get it. So this one I know everybody loves. I loved the cover. I loved the premise of the plot. So I bought it in paperback and I had such a fun time reading this. I'm so glad I did. I didn't love it as I think a lot of other people love it. Like I didn't make it my whole personality, you know, but I did really enjoy it. I liked Bree. I loved Archer. He was so sweet, kind, caring, and I can definitely see how that's a lot of y'all's book boyfriend. But I mean, I'm a dark romance lover and this one was just a little too small towny for me. But that being said, I did really enjoy it. I rated it 4 stars. It was fun and I had a fantastic time reading something in paperback, which was awesome. After trying out another book in paperback, I think like the month before, last month, I don't actually remember when I read it, and I don't even remember what book it was, but I didn't love reading it in paperback, so I was kind of scared that I wouldn't like paperbacks, but Archer's Voice made me realize that I do really like paperbacks, which was really fucking great to know because I ordered like a bunch. Archer's Voice, 4 stars. I did really enjoy this one. Not as much as a lot of y'all do, but solid read. Then I read another popular favorite, which is Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. I've had this on my TBR for so long, and I just finally picked it up, and it was great. I did really enjoy reading it. I didn't realize how forbidden it was. I didn't realize Jennifer Hartman could do that, and I absolutely loved it. It's definitely on the darker side. Like, I'd rate this intermediate or maybe beginner dark romance, probably more intermediate, just because they like get kidnapped and there's a lot of sick things that their kidnapper makes them do. It wasn't quite as dark as I thought, but at the same time, it was darker than I thought. But yeah, I did have a fun time reading this. I loved the forbidden aspect to it. It felt really like realistic, and it was pretty fun. I got a little bored sometimes, and it definitely has some heavier topics like mental health, which I mean, I fully enjoyed. I love the representation, but it just got a little boring for me, unfortunately. So I rated this one 4 stars. I probably will be recommending this one because I'm planning on doing a intro to dark romance kind of thing where I like give you guys a bunch of recommendations and then rank them from beginner to like advanced, you know? I'm hoping to do that in the beginning of May, so keep an eye out for that video if you're interested. I definitely think I'm gonna include this one. And then I read Her Shadows, His Secrets by Cece Monroe, and I think I got catfished by the gorgeous, gorgeous cover that this book is, because this was not really it. It starts off in a prologue where we see her running from a like stalker, and I was like, oh, a stalker romance? I'm here for it. And then it turns out he wasn't the love interest, and it was like really anticlimactic when we finally got to see the reveal of who her stalker was. And actually, oh my god, I don't even remember who his stalker was. That is bad. This was a very non-memorable book for me. Our heroine, I don't remember her name. Oh, Hannah, is kind of average heroine. Like, I didn't really love her. I didn't really hate her. Then Theo, our hero, I hated his name. Like, find a better name. Theo? But yeah, he was just kind of basic. I was a little bored. There's some great spicy scenes in here, that definitely. And there's a lot of parts that I think Book Talk would love, but I just wasn't impressed by the whole book, even though I had parts of it that I did like. And then we have A Pretty Fixation by Simone West, oh god. And this is a college kind of novella. It's childhood friends to lovers. Or is it? Because there's not really amnesia, but there's like mistaken identity, and I really enjoyed this one. It was such a fun read. I rated it 3.75 stars just because it was a little boring for me at times, but it's my first college romance that I've read in a while as well. So yeah, I did really enjoy it. Caleb was so cute. My only issue was there was like barely any steam. And we all know I need the steam, y'all. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. It wasn't god tier, and I don't know if this means like college romances just aren't for me, or if I should pick more up. I feel like they're just not for me. And then I read the Santiago trilogy. I'm counting this one as 4 books because in the bind up version on KU, there is a bonus epilogue. I read that as well. So I have like 4 of them all in a row on my Goodreads. If you see that, that's why. This is a cartel romance. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. I've only read one other cartel romance before this one. I did enjoy it. I actually DNF'd it, but I did enjoy it. I was just in a book funk or something. I don't know. But this one made me fall in love with cartel romances, and I really need to read more. I just realized my finger's bleeding. If y'all saw that, I'm okay. It's just bleeding for some reason. But back to the Santiago trilogy. Thoroughly enjoyed this one. The hero, Dante, woo, he's hot. And our heroine as well, I really enjoyed her. It's a relationship between a cartel boss, capo, I don't know, and an FBI agent's daughter who is also a criminal reporter who literally like reports on serial killers and has been tracking him for a while, and he ends up kidnapping her, and it is so good. I enjoyed this one so much. This is a top series of 22 for sure. I need more cartel romances in my life, because this one, man, oh, so good. And then I finally read Antichrist by Emma Jones. This one came out earlier this month, and I was putting it off because I'm vlogging this one. The vlog will be coming out in the beginning of May because I'm reading a few books for this vlog, and I can't seem to vlog on my work days. I don't know why. I can only vlog on the weekend. And so I started it last weekend, finishing it up this weekend. It'll probably be out middle of next week. So yeah, y'all will see my full thoughts on this one. I'm not really gonna say too much here, so keep an eye out for that vlog when it comes. I fucking enjoyed this one though. As can be expected, Miss Elmo, she bangs it out of the park every time. And then I read Lucky Number 7, which is the first book in a series of novellas. I was lucky enough to get an arc of this one, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. Also read it for the vlog, so you'll see my full thoughts in there. This one was just so fun. It was in Vegas, and there's a lot of like casinos and gambling, and I was here for it. I'm hoping to actually do a novella recommendation video soon. Totally gonna include this one because it was such a fun ride, but also it made me realize that arcs aren't fucking for me. Like, I mean, this one isn't my first arc that I've gotten, but I just can't do it. Like, remembering to put out a review on release day, like promoting it on your Instagram. And you know when you like sign up for an arc and then you go through the form and they're like, are you a bookstagrammer or a book blogger? And I'm like, no bitch, I'm a booktuber and a book talker. Like, why don't authors have that option? Like, I don't really want to put y'all's books on my Instagram. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my Instagram, but I know I don't really want it to be promoting cover reveals. So y'all authors need to move up with your options and include booktubers, cause yeah. That being said though, that's absolutely nothing to do with this book, because this author actually did include booktubers and book talkers, so bonus points for her. I really like her as an author and I was very glad to get an arc of this. And yeah, keep an eye out for my thoughts in that vlog coming soon. I got up to get these for y'all, so I'm currently reading the Ravenhood trilogy by Kate Stewart. I started this one in November, but I didn't actually finish it. I really want to though. In my DNFs video, y'all convinced me to pick it back up again, and so I bought the paperbacks because I was like, maybe I'll get through them easier if I have them in paperback. I was right, much easier in paperback form. So like I said, back in November, I started Flock, and I got 50% through before I ended up DNFing it because there was other books to read and this one was slowing me down a little bit. But obviously picked it back up, finished that 50%. Loved it. Really, really enjoyed it. It was much more interesting and intriguing, even though it is really like confusing as fuck. It really is, okay? But I really like her relationship with, oh, I can't say with who. With the people. And yeah, so I finished this one last night, and then this morning I started Exodus. Hey Siri, how do you say Exodus? So that didn't really help me out. But either way, Exodus, I'm currently like, oh fuck, I was reading it this morning and I didn't put a bookmark in. Oh my god, I don't know how far in I am. I'm probably like 50, 70 pages. So I'm gonna be finishing this one and then giving it to you guys in my May reading wrap up. Every month, I'm like, what the fuck? It's already the next month. It's May, you guys. That is messed up. Either way, that is their Ravenhood trilogy. I'm in love with the covers. Look how pretty these are. And they go really pretty on my shelf as well. Not the part of the shelf that y'all can see. Y'all only see the fucking bare part of the shelf. I'm working on building this library, okay? We're getting there. Okay, one last book that's kind of part of my wrap up, but kind of not. I told y'all that I was rereading and annotating Credence. In my last wrap up, I actually ended up putting it away because like I fucking haven't touched it in a month, and I was like, yeah, I ain't doing it. The fact that I'm reading a new paperback means that I won't be reading Credence, and I just don't really have the time anymore to sit down and annotate it because that shit takes so long. I'm actually not even annotating the Ravenhood trilogy because I don't have time for it. Anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you leave, and stay tuned for a new recommendation video coming out this Sunday. See you in that video very soon.